My name is Gabe Cordova. I'm the director of lead management and database at Robert Slack Real Estate, primarily out of Florida, but also I'm physically in Colorado. We've got a team here, Idaho, and in Knoxville as well. I manage 1.9 million leads database for Robert Slack. Basically, how the leads are coming in, how are we working them, all the different tech that touches them, and supporting our team leads and the agents so that they're getting the most out of what we've got. Nothing wrong with adding new leads, top of funnel coming in, but very passionate about helping agents and teams, brokerages get the most out of what they've got so that we can sometimes hopefully start turning down how much we're spending on new leads and getting more out of what we've got and keep them coming back. Also work with Rachel a little bit over on the product side and on the Maverick side. So let me jump to Rachel and then I'll come to Livia since you're going to probably take us away. Rachel, a little background who you are.
Yeah, so I am the product manager over here at Maverick, helping with all of the the new features, the feature enhancements, taking in insights from what you all are experiencing as business gaps and trying to make sure that we're creating solutions for those.
Love that. And Livia, for those that don't know who you are and the star of today,
Exciting.
what have you been up to?
So,
Moving to Miami or starting a team in Miami?
yeah. So I'm Livia Monteforte. I am a team lead broker on Cape Cod, Massachusetts. I run a team with Compass. I am a passionate, avid Maverick user, so I'm excited to share what I do. But yeah, so I'm Cape Cod based, very small team, and newly expanding to Miami Beach area where we bought a place.
I love it. And an overall badass in real estate, if I get to say so myself. We've had the privilege of talking and speaking at a lot of different events and presenting either at the same ones or sometimes together, which is always fun and a pleasure.
My favorite.
I'm super excited for this. So we're going to jump in and we're going to make this really interactive. I really want Livia to kind of drive what she's been doing, changes she's been making in her business to get and see the numbers she's getting. AI to ROI, that's where we're going to really kind of live. It's the thing that I've seen at almost every event coming up more and more. We'll kind of come in and out of presentation mode and stuff like that to look at real live examples. What's going on in your database? How are you doing this? How are you leveraging AI to make more money, more sales and all that? So I'll jump in here. I'll drive a little bit, Livia, and then you can kind of tell me when you're wanting to take over. But real quick for everyone, an overview of Maverick, which is a lot of what Livia is doing. And it's paired with other things as well, which she'll highlight, from whether it's CRM and all that. But really, sales manager, think of your full-time 7-day-a-week sales manager, your sales coach, everything right here in a box, dishing everything up for you, analyzing what's happening in your database, from the stats, from the outreach to literally what your agents, your ISAs, what people are saying to these. I'm not going to say leads or Livia will come after me. What your agents are saying to people in the database, what they could be saying better, and little small adjustments that can be made to really change not just what we're saying, but how we're saying it to achieve more appointments and ultimately more deals. So I know one of the things you're going for, rules and alerts. Tell me what this means, how you're using it.
Yeah, and just real quick about why I started using Maverick. I think when we're thinking about like the concept of generating leads, right? People in our database, we're very used to spending money to get these people into our database. And there's a lot of us that understand that's a cost of customer acquisition. We get that. But we sometimes forget how much of a cost it is for customer retention if we're losing these transactions. And I think that is where Maverick has just been a game changer, even for a small team. Even for a single agent. I know everyone thinks of this as like a team thing. I'm a proponent that should even be used by single agents. But what it is it's giving you a snapshot of your market in the moment. So you're able to see as you log in exactly what you're doing, how you're performing against industry standards, against your own standards. You can set your goals. Now, that's like 10,000 foot view down, right? We all have to know what we're doing, why we're doing it, how we're doing it. But then when we go into that hyper micro segment, so it's like, okay, what are we doing every day that is forming the habits that turn into the ROI that we know we can get? And that's where the rules and alerts come in. So rules and alerts are a feature that Maverick offers. I am like obsessed with them. I think everyone's probably sick of me talking about this. I think this is the best feature. I mean, they're all good features, but the rules and alerts to me are magic. Now, can I just screen share real quick,
Yeah,
Gabe?
I turned off. Like I said, I've got some slides where we can show, but I'd rather show people in your account real life. What are you doing?
Okay.
How does this work? How are
So
you?
I want to just screen share. Hold on one second. It is not letting me. Let me go right back here.
And once you're done, then I might show a couple too on how what we're using with teams and things like that as well. Because again, I think it's easier instead of talking in theory. What are we actually doing in the trenches with our agents, with our teams? So
Yes. So here's my Maverick real case study, right? So this is when I log in and I'm talking about rules and alerts. This is actually what I'm talking about. You're able to go in and you can customize these. So it will come with a preset grouping of rules and alerts. And essentially think of the preset as the very baseline of what you want to be seeing happening in your database so that you are generating a positive return on investment. So baseline. Then you get the geeks like me that nerd out on this and I customize the whole thing. So the beauty of this is when you see red, you know that you're past due. When you see green, you feel like, whoo, we're on top of that. The red, so if you hover over it, you can see what it is. So leads created in the last 24 hours with no call or text outreach within 4 hours. So these are people that have come to our system. We've not yet introduced ourselves. And then you can go through and customize. I mean, people have called us. We haven't called back. They've texted us. We haven't texted back. They've been referred in and we haven't reached out to them in 15 days. And then I know a lot of people in here are probably using Fellow, Zillow, things that are applying tags. This is magic. So
I love what you did here. So anybody that has any type of lead gen here, you've gone in and customized this. I want to make sure call attention to this. Like,
yes,
I love how you customize this.
because remember, this we're spending money on. We want the ROI back. And that is what this enables us to really track in real time. So these are people, they've requested a CMA, they've requested a callback, they've asked for a cash offer, they've been tagged by behavior that indicates that they need us to show up. Instead of us having to go and look for them, I say this all the time, but it is like a personal assistant bringing you a folder with a sticky note on it saying, hey, Gabe, don't forget to call this person before end of day. So crazy Livia, I nudge 3 times a day. I nudge in the morning, I nudge in the afternoon, and I nudge in the evening. Now, I'm not nudging for every one of the rules. I'm nudging for the things that I know merit a response right away so that it doesn't have to live in your brain space. I mean, I nudge myself because I don't want to have to remember as I'm on a showing, oh crap, I forgot to get back to John Smith and he needed that answer real quickly and I didn't even respond to him. I love that if he calls in and I haven't called him back, I'm going to be nudged. So I'm able to give 100% of me to the clients I'm in front of and still know my assistant has put a sticky note with a little to do and I get to do it. Look, this is someone calling me right now.
This is what you get when you're working in the trenches and doing webinars. I love it.
Right?
So just because not everybody maybe knows what a nudge is, what is a nudge and how does that work?
So let me show you. It's so easy. So see the little bell. This is a nudge. So you're going to click on nudge. It's going to say why I'm nudging. So there's a preview. You can add a custom. So Livia wants, and you put whatever it is. Livia wants you to call because this person's asking for a market analysis and you haven't gotten back to them. You hit confirm, and in your database, you're going to get a tag applied that says nudge outstanding. That way you can create a smart list of all those tags so that you can respond specifically to those people that have been tagged. And when you do the task, So if it's a call, email, that's the other magic with this. I know I'm jumping, but I have to show you this
You're
too.
good. You're good.
If you go to edit and you choose it, so you choose the tags that you're adding, you choose eligibility timeline, you can select if you want, you might say, hey, don't email these people. These are active people that want something, you take off email. And then when you publish that emailing them will not take the tag off. So they will still be outstanding until you or your agents call or text.
I love that. And like for us, we were just talking about this on an office hours on that. Even if email is acceptable, we've also edited our rules because those personal touches are great. If you're going to email them some sort of update, then shoot them a text. Hey, Levy, I just want you to know I shot you an email with XYZ. Didn't want you to have it lost in your inbox. So very similar. And what I love about this, dude, like, yeah, you got your Zillow, you've got Fellow, if you're Wailopo seller down there, right? Doesn't matter where your leads are coming from into your CRM. If they're getting marked with tags, which is what most everybody does, you can customize these rules to do it. And I know you mentioned you nudge up to 3 times a day. What are some of the rules that you do it 3 times a day on? Because I think this is awesome.
Yeah, so the ones that you're going to want to nudge 3 times a day. So the brand new, that should be satisfied the first time, right? It's your virtual office. Someone's walked through the door. If you were at uptime and they walked in, you get up and shake their hand. Get up and virtually shake their hand, make some digital eye contact. So that's number 1, has to be done. If it isn't done, that's 3 times. The called and texted, those are, I mean, those are money. Like truly, those are money. We have turned up so much business just since doing this since the summer. And we all think we're good with calling people back. That's what we do as agents, right? But when you start getting busy, it's one of the first things that you intend with the best intentions you think you're going to do. And you're lying in bed at 2 a.m. and it's, oh God, I forgot to call them back. So this, by nudging, I do 8 a.m., 1 p.m., and 6 p.m. And I told my agents, don't let yourselves get burnout here. Don't become overwhelmed. This is a safety net. If you forgot to call them back by end of day, you will have done it.
Yeah. Can I show something really quick?
Yes.
So something very, very similar, right? So this is something I stole from Livia. I think we had a little bit of a nudge reluctance on how often, but very similar to you, especially, and again, not on all rules, but missed phone calls, right? So I also just ripped off something when you were sharing. I hadn't renamed this rule. Mine's similar, but someone called us and we missed the call, right? So I expand this out. I can see, again, we're dealing with a lot of people, but I've got 61 people that have recently called us that have not got a call back, right? I can instantly nudge this, but I can also like sneak peek. So I want to just show you guys. So I come in here and it's going to show me the whole list of them. If I click on it, it's going to go into my CRM. We're using Follow Up Boss. And I can see, right, we've been calling Justin's the agent, calling. She finally called back, but it's been hours. If we were nudging 3 times and then they jumped onto Wailopo and they're looking at homes, if we had somebody monitoring this 3 times a day, or if this team lead, we'd be hitting this one back, right? It stinks to do all of this work, reach out, text. We miss the call back and then they go with somebody else.
Yeah.
And it's just hard to find. And so if we're looking at this low-hanging fruit and nudging. Great.
And remember, this is Realtor 101, right? You want to be a really good agent, you have to make people feel like they matter to you. And I think we take for granted, because we're dealing with so many people at once, that when someone calls, they are actively waiting for that call back. They've made the effort. We now have to reciprocate. And it's not malintent. It's just too much on our plates. This lets you not have to think about it. You don't have to live in that headspace of missing things. You get to live in this mindset of opportunity, right? It's not scarcity. It's endless opportunity. There's lots of growth. You get to focus on those opportunities, knowing you're not losing these people.
Yeah, I love it. And what's great is you've gone in and customized the rules and alerts. I'll expand this out so we can see it a little bit better. You've gone in and taken the time to expand or customize the rules and alerts, right? So that when you're coming in, we can just do this in mass, right? So
yeah,
a lot of times you're not having to go lead by lead. You customize this to help trigger you. And not only are we going to get more deals done, but what I'm trying to get teams to understand with our team leads as we're using this, the amount of time it's saving us going lead by lead by lead. right?
And I
So
think it's important too. I think team leads sometimes feel like this is going to be annoying. Like, oh, if I'm doing this, I'm essentially disciplining my agents 3 times a day. No, that isn't what it is. I sat down with my team and I said, okay, I want to show you what you can be nudged on. And I want you to tell me if it's something that you don't want to have to think about and you want an assistant giving you the reminder on. And the things that we created nudges on are things that the agents truly want and need. It's not discipline, it is reminders. They are rock stars and they get to have the safety net provided for free for them. Now, the other really cool thing about it as an agent getting my own nudges 3 times a day is that when you get it, it feels very fulfilling when you're checking off your nudge list and you get yourself to net zero. Because then you're starting the next day from a point, there is nothing built up behind you. You get to start fresh without any 2 a.m. wake ups.
yeah, well, like you said, we actually one of the agents is like because we've made it part of our culture now. This is preventing me from having to have a VA or an assistant literally going through catching me up on the low hanging fruit. Right? There's stuff in our CRM. We have smart lists set up and all that, and that's great. But you can still, there's a lot of gold sometimes. If a smart list has 120 people in it, what are the 4 or 5 things that I just absolutely need? This is what's helping pull out that. This is what's helping the team lead not have to go through 120, already know who are the 5 that I need to kind of like, hey, let's not miss this one.
Hey, yeah. And
Yeah.
these stats are insane. Like when you look at this, just the nudges, it increases. So a 2.08% conversion rate. I will tell you, as a case study with my team, we were probably, I want to say, doing well, but before the 3 times a day nudging, I want to say we were about like 2.75. I just checked before, and some of my agents are up to 15% conversion rate because they are responding in real time when they're needed. They show up when the client needs them because you can really curate what the triggers are for these.
Oh yeah, we start looking at the conversion, everything, and these are real stats that we pulled out when people started nudging. And we're going to get into the AI sales coach here in a section or in a second, but you can see the difference by just nudging, which is what we've covered, where it's increased. Then we add in AI only, then we combine, and we're going to see some great stuff here. So I want to make sure we have time for everything, but we're seeing
The AI is insane too.
yeah
I
AI,
like all of it.
which we're going to get into. In fact, I might come back to this actually. So
Okay.
AI sales coach. We've talked about right now where Maverick's going in, compiling a lot of the data, using our secret sauce to dish it up and show you what's going on, allowing you to customize all that to your team, to your follow-up standards. But now the AI sales coach and call grading, I want you to kind of get it. We got some more stats out of actual calls that we've been grading, and what's happened with conversion and all that. So we've been sharing some of those numbers. But I kind of want to get into letting you talk a little bit just about how you're using it, what you're doing with AI sales coach.
Okay, so if you think about, have you ever had one of those calls, right? And you're on the call and they ask a really good thing, but you've never been asked that before, and you're trying to answer it professionally, and you get off the phone and you're like, yeah, I did okay, but I wish I did this, I wish I did that. And you know for the next one, you're going to be good. But you literally just learned in real time with a real person, and you hope to God you didn't cost yourself the business. AI sales coach lets you do that while not costing yourself with a real person. You get to try out these different conversations. You get to have different objections. And what has been rolled out now, like the original was good. The new version that we have is like insane. I mean, you can talk to people about price adjustments. You can talk to people about just looking. You can talk to people about not interested. There's so many things that you can talk to people about in real time. Are you pulling it up? It's
Yeah,
so
here we go.
okay. So you can create rubrics and you can customize it if you want. And so when you're going through, think about like the Zillow calls, right? Everyone knows you have to hit ALM. But then you're thinking about the other avenues that you want your agents to really start tuning into on the conversation. The biggest thing for me, I mean, you're probably going to be like, yes, I guess that, Livia, because listen to you right now. But I talk more than I should when I'm on the call. So it shows how long I've let the customer talk and it shows how long I've been talking. It has really made me pull back and live in that uncomfortable silence where I just wait to hear what comes next. And this where, so like dead air rate and objection to disconnect, this objection word cloud, this was kind of a fun team exercise we did. I said, okay, can you guys come up with the most objections you've been getting? Like what is the most common? And they picked one that wasn't even on here. This is coming from the real calls. So it's like we might live in this negative headspace where we think we really flopped that one call. We might get that one call one time. That's not what we have to pivot around. This is how we get to pivot. And it tells you things like, next time, talk about how you had helped another customer in a similar situation. Give some confidence. Ask more questions. I mean, I get on the phone now and I'm literally replaying the coaching notes I got back from my calls thinking, Livia, be quiet right now. You've talked far too much. Let the person talk. It's just fabulous. And the suggestions let you get ready. So I do it as my warm up. In the morning, I like to do the coaching call. So yeah, like you can pick, if you go back to that slide, you can pick, are you in the minds, and challenge yourself. Like, you know what? I am feeling like I don't want to talk to anyone about a price reduction today. Guess which one you should pick? The price reduction. And kind of play through it. And then you will find opportunity in your day. Whatever you're feeling like you don't want to deal with, you're going to hide from it all day anyway. Challenge yourself. It's not a real person. It sounds like it is. Then you're going to get on the phone. You're going to call all your people and you're going to feel like a rock star.
So I'm going to add a couple things in here. So really not aware, when we're talking about objections, what Maverick is doing is it's going into the CRM, it's listening to all the calls. So you have to have the call recording turned on and all that. We're using Follow Boss for this, but it's going in not only how many calls you're making, but what's the quality, right? Are you hitting certain talk points? That's where you can customize. I want them talking about area, location, motivation, anybody on here that's Zillow, for example, or whatever is important to you. And all these different percentages coming out, like she said, talk time. Are we asking for appointment? One of the biggest things that we found in our database is agents were starting to make calls, but they weren't asking for the appointment. All of a sudden we realized, and we've seen this team after team, is by just changing the fact that the agents got more comfortable asking for an appointment, inviting somebody to go out window shopping, our appointment rates started going up. We didn't need more leads. We needed to change what we were saying. And then it's because it's listening to all these calls, AI is pulling out all the common objections and giving you talking points, right? Because we were seeing rates. Well, what has been happening with rates here recently, right? I think there was another announcement today, dropping, giving suggestions, what was going on. So all of that's being pulled out. And there are, and I can go into live mode here in a second, but these are just some of our, Rachel, you might be able to tell me, we have tons of different categories, right? If you're a new agent, you have people on your team. How many?
12 total categories.
I lost it.
12 total.
12. There we go. Sorry,
Yeah.
I locked up for a second. 12 different categories, and then each category has different personas, right? So like this is the price reduction.
And let me tell you, market timing gambler, he's a challenger.
The price. Well, what we found too, and I'm curious, a lot of agents on our team, they've been licensed less than 5 years. They haven't had to talk about price reductions. Everything had multiple offers, things like that. So all the different things, or new agents coming on wanting to, how do I reach out to my sphere and not sound creepy and let them know that I'm in real estate, right? When people are coming in asking for cash offers or wanting a home valuation, what about it when I'm getting alerted from Zillow or Ylopo or whatever site that they're active? How do I talk to them and meet them where they're at? This is all built in here, right? So talking about different scenarios, all the different things that are built into the different categories so that you get multiple things coming in.
Oh, and this is
calling in, right?
Yep. This is the power. It gives you the summary. It gives you coaching notes. It tells you suggested follow-ups. It gives you a score. So also if you do have a team or a solo, my get the jitters out is the first time, try to fail it. Like literally just go in, try to fail the call. Just do everything that you can imagine the worst agent you know would do. You get to know the cadence of what the process is going to be, and then go in and think about you and how you want to respond and respond naturally. And you're going to be surprised how what you already do is really, really good, but there's little tweaks you can do to get even better. And you're not costing yourself a potential real transaction by learning. You're learning, it's true role playing, and you can do it as much as you want. There's no limit on how many times you do it.
Yeah, and I'm curious, just throw over in chat if you guys can. I'm just curious, who is role playing or thinking you should be role playing, and are you doing it enough, right? we found ourselves wanting to do it, but then agent reluctancy, finding 2 people to do it, or the team lead or sales manager wanting to do it. And then you have to self, critique what's going on, but this does it all for you. You can call from your car, you can call from sitting on the floor in your closet if you want to and hang up. It doesn't really matter, right? You're doing it and it comes with the coaching notes, the follow-up suggestions. Here's what we've seen. Scouring all the conversions, this is real data coming out of the CRMs, right? Appointment rate, just because you become more comfortable asking for an appointment. We role play when possible, trying to get, Thomas in there. And again, if they could do it from themselves, they'd probably do it more often. Different scenarios you don't have to think, but we're start just by asking for an appointment more often, just how more appointments you're getting. It's crazy the power of just asking for the appointment. And so many agents are not doing it. So, agreements, getting more buyer agreements done, because that's another one of our personas, getting comfortable talking about it, presenting it, discussing your worth, and then the overall call quality. So Rachel, I'm going to actually stop sharing here. I'm actually really excited because there's a big release you guys are doing today.
Yes. So currently, we have a first version of the call grading dashboard and details. And as of today, we're going to be releasing to everybody out of beta this new version. So dashboard here, this is presenting at an overview level, the average score over time with highest and lowest scoring agents. You have appointment asked versus set perspective. So the total calls, and it is during a specific time frame, so you can always change that. Highest and scoring agents during that for asked as well as set if you're wanting to change that perspective. Questions asked versus filled rate. What are the top questions that are getting missed by agents, and who's excelling in those areas and who could use some support, some coaching, and objection handled rate. So that is our new dashboard. Your call recording details page has the overall kind of summary view at quick glance, but then at individual agent view, you're able to specifically pull out a call. It's actually already loaded over here, so I will go over there. And you can see here that there is a transcript. You can listen to the call recording itself. You can see the grade and change the grade that you see based off of the rubric that you have selected. You can go over to the coaching notes to see highlights, or if you're wanting to drill deeper with an agent on where they could have gone a little bit farther in conversation. My computer doesn't love when I share. Here we go. And then follow-ups, call insights. You can see here those duration, questions asked versus filled, that agent talk time. You can see here they also like to talk. And client details here, breaking it down based off of what was talked about in the conversation. So there is that view, as well as an additional.
Real quick, Rachel, on that, if you go back to that other tab, the other thing I love too is call recordings are in here, right? So there's, you can actually listen to it if you want to listen back, see why you got it. Because I think sometimes when we listen to what we're saying and how we role play, it's not how we thought it sounded when we did it. But again, now you just have access to this to do it in your free time. You're not doing it in front of your team or anything. Thomas asked real quick, how long does it take to really learn how to use the feature? There's a lot of features. We're highlighting like 2 or 3 out of a lot in here. And I would say just it depends on the team. What's important to you? And my advice is, what are the pains in your business? And we're gonna have a QR code here for you. And they've put together a kick-ass promo for you. But I would just chat with the team about what are the pains in your business? Where do you feel like you have the most loss? Start there, and then add on more, right? Same thing.
But I have to share too, as someone learning it and applying it, it's not, you just have to know where to find which tab. It is literally backfilling for you in real time. So you're not having to input data or source data or figure out how. They set it up for you. And then the only thing that you can think through and change if you want to is the nudges and rules, or like certain rubrics that you want to grade against. But there's suggested ones that you can use. So you can plug and play right from go. Like, it's not, to me, it's one of the most simple tools I could use. And I think that's why I love it so much, because it's increased our ROI so quickly without me having to invest hours into it, other than, logging in and checking. It's like having a full-time person in a position of literally knowing every inch of my business.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Yeah. And so, sorry. And so you were showing, so this is a new view. Basically, it's giving us better visibility, easier thing. And I think on this, you're showing how it's bringing in all the calls for the agents as well now, right?
Yeah, so this is the full agent view. You can kind of see how they compare to each other, who might be struggling in certain areas. However, you also have the individual agent profile view. So and this will be all available for agents to be able to log in and access themselves. It's locked down to their own view so that they don't see other agent information. And this is their dashboard view as well. So they can see that same score, ask set, questions asked, filled, handled, and then all of their calls that were graded.
Yeah. Just a lot of visibility for them to, if for agents that want to self-diagnose or which is a great segue, thank you, Rachel, into probably one of the newest releases, which I'm
It's
absolutely
amazing.
obsessed with. And it is Agent Snapshot. I'm going to, sorry, I'm going to try and expand it back here for you guys. So everything that we've been talking about, Levy and I as team leads and stuff are going in and finding a lot of the information and then meeting with our teams or showing during our meetings. But now what this is doing is taking rules and alerts, taking all their call grading performances and then their sales funnel and a bunch of stuff and putting it together in a snapshot, not just for me as their team lead, but also the agent. So curious kind of this is the newer feature. You guys have been running with it, Livia, what your
Yeah.
thoughts are, how you've been using it, and then I'll add a little what we're doing.
So to go back to what I said earlier, I think people get the misconception that this is like disciplinary or what you're doing wrong. It's really meant to empower the agents to develop the right habits, to have the toolbox to be the top agent in the market, and to have the transparency of what they're doing. Are their habits currently creating the financial return that they want? So instead of it just being from the team lead down, saying you're doing this good or not this good, in a nicer way, of course, this is a way to just kind of truly empower them and say, hey, look, this is what we're basing everything off of. So your average call time, your contact to close, your assign to trash, you're just getting this complete transparent visibility. So instead of having to go through the entire thing, you're able to snapshot it for them. There's goals and pacing, which I love. Financial insights, I think, is tremendous. It really shows the agent at a glance how they're doing based on where they feel their business is coming from. So, oh, good. Are you pulling it up?
Yeah, I'm going to pull one up. Sorry, I was trying to get out of the
Yeah.
presentation. It keeps freezing up. So, yeah, what I love about this is it's pulling in a bunch of different things. So let me pull in one of the agents that, oops. And so pull this in here. And you can pull this for everything that they're doing. If you have certain agents, you want to look at how they're doing on team generated leads. I'm going to leave it on everything. But as a team lead, right, we provide leads. They also have their sphere. So what I love is it's breaking everything down for Anna, right? I can do whatever dates. I'm going to do year to date for right now. How many leads has Anna brought in? How many has she contacted? Appointments set? Everything's tracking, right? From current time to previous month. So I've got everything together. And this is just a quick snapshot. I can go deeper into it if I wanted to, but I get a quick glance at her funnel. Is it getting where she wants, where it wants to be?
And it shows what steps equal that, right? So to the closed deals, she can go backwards and go, oh, I need to meet with more appointments, which means I need to set more appointments, which means I need to use my AI coaching to make sure I'm asking for the appointments. Goes back to the contacted. Am I hesitating to make the calls? So it's really just, it's like Success 101 in a box. Like, this is everything. Now just go that way. And for the agents, it really is empowering. It feels like, oh, this is within my control to do. The opportunities waiting, I love, because that shows why we're nudging. That's just a reminder of, okay, this is why. And then financial insight. So this is why they're getting nudged. So they don't feel like, oh, wait, why am I? They can see it. Financial insights, it shows where are your closings coming from. If you are a rock star with direct conversion and sphere leads, put more time and energy there. You're getting it done.
Yeah, so I love it. I'm gonna break down some of this too, how we're using it. So since I'm already here, we're not only using this on one-on-ones, but if you're doing recruiting, trying to build and show, especially if you're a lead gen company or something like that, I'm pulling up, and I can see that 2/3 of her business has come from Robert's that company provided leads versus personal, 2/3 of her business, right? Well, and she's got, I mean, we're talking the last 12 months, 46 million. I mean, 2/3 is a lot of what's going on here, right? I can see when her activity's coming. She can see what areas she's focusing in, what's going on. The opportunities waiting that Livia brought up, when we were talking about that rules and alerts that the entire team lead had to go through, this is now highlighting what's going on to Anna and her database, right? What's her outreach? We were talking about this. She's really focused on short-term nurture. If Anna wanted to click on this, she can go into it and see all the leads versus just a highlight, or all the rules versus just a highlight of what rules are going on in her database. It's loading a little bit slower on our side because of the 1.9 million leads in here. But now it's personalized. It's a snapshot of Anna's business, like Livia said, the financial insights. And then I love this too, right? You can actually go in, there's a bunch of different categories where we can go in and add in different goals. How many calls do you want to make? What are your goals for conversations, to appointments, text messages? You can literally put that in for yourself, for your agent, and then it's going to track what you're doing. How are you tracking? Where do you need to put some time in, right? Or am I trashing too many leads? And what's great now, this just came out, is now I can even bring it to the coaching notes, right? So if I'm meeting with Anna, having conversations, I can type in any of our notes that we're going, and when I submit them, all right, now I can see all the notes that came in just today for Anna, what they're wanting to do, goals to have 5 new listings, live, active at all time, whatever they are. This agent snapshot is just really that overview of what's going on now down to the agent level that you as a team lead have access to, but also so the agent themselves can hold themselves accountable or just see what's going on. So they're not waiting for those nudges, or when they're getting the nudges, they know where they're coming from because they have visibility into it.
Yep, exactly. It's super empowering. And all of this, when you look at this, it's showing you all the cracks in your business, the things that you would have gone so far, and then looking back at the year, you go, oh no, I missed all this opportunity. You asked me to calculate, like, what would one deal be worth? And let's say it's worth $5,000 in gross commission income, right? If you miss one deal, that's $5,000 you've missed because of someone you didn't call. Now let's say you just get 1% better. Well, then you're getting that 5,000, and then what else are you going to get off of it? It's sealing up all those cracks, and it's in a way that I've tried other systems in the past, and I got so bogged down with trying to learn them and figure out what it was and how do I find this and how do I input that. I don't want that. I want something that I can glance at and say, do, done. Okay, good. We're not losing anything. We're making money.
Well, I think that's kind of why we had a little bit of fun, right, with the title. You know, the no BS way to for AI to be more ROI, and
Right?
because it's all coming in Mavericks. There is no BS involved, right? There's no being subjective. It's just, here's what we know needs to be done. Here are the numbers, the amount of contacts or time frames, whatever it is, that get an equal more ROI. So it takes all of that out. It takes the time out too. So it brings it
Yeah.
in, lets you do it, and then it's leveraging all the AI and the different tools to get you to go ahead and bring that in. So I want to go, I showed it a second. I'm going to show this just so we can get it on the screen for people. I'll expand it out. So I love it. So Maverick put together a deal. If you guys scan this QR code, if you're interested in learning more, and again, we showed, I don't know what, 10%, Rachel, 15%.
Yeah, lots more.
A very small
Lots more.
amount of what Maverick does. And they're doing 50% off for the first 30 days to try it out. I mean, that makes us, we probably spend more on a dinner once a month than what this is going to cost you to test out. And, you know, what I always tell people is I would look at your average, 2 things. Look at your average sales price, right? So I'm going to use easy numbers because I don't want to have to calculate high numbers. Is for the first 3 months, yeah, 50% off for the first 3 months. Thank you. Somebody nudged me. I wish we could do that forever. Yes, 50% off for the first 3 months. But think about this. What is your average sales price, right? So if your average sales price, I'm going to go on the low side, is $9,000, and I'm just going to use averages, 3%. So $300,000, $9,000 commission. Let's say you're a team lead and it's 50-50. That's still $4,500 to you. By leveraging all of this, could you get one more deal a month or one more deal a quarter? And when this costs on average, most of our clients, a few $100 a month, and it's less for some, more for some, that's insane ROI, right? This literally becomes income producing. And then not only that, if you are the sales manager, if you're the team lead and you don't have time to go listen to the calls to make suggestions. You don't have time to schedule the role playing. You don't have time to go monitor if they're doing their follow-up or go lead by lead by lead by lead. The amount of time that this is saving you, because another exercise I love to do is what's your dollars per hour, what's your time worth based on things that need to get done. And every time I do that exercise, we all, I don't need to do that exercise here. We know our time is valuable. So the deal's lost and the time that it saves you as a sales manager, I mean, no brainer, right? I would highly recommend checking this out. Leverage. AI is not going away, right? Those agents, and if you're an individual agent, the same thing, right? Oh my gosh, I'm not a team. All the more reason why you need a full-time sales manager or coach at your beck and call to help you identify. I think, Livia, you said you nudge yourself.
I do. And I want to just say too one thing, because I think we always think about spending money on our business, but we're spending money to generate more people in our database, usually, right? If you catch these opportunities before you miss them, you don't have to spend money on bringing more people in. You've already paid for these people in your database. These are people that you've already established some sort of connection with. You share, you know what their interest is, you have their story. Don't let these, we audited our system. That's really what made us jump into Maverick. We audited our system and realized how many people that we had generated were in there doing behaviors that indicated they were likely to do something, and we just didn't have the bandwidth or the foresight to focus on it. Those missed opportunities, when I looked at it, I was nauseous. I thought, how? I paid to get those people in, and now I've lost all this ROI for no reason. Maverick allows you to really get good with what you already have. So it's almost like the challenge of, okay, if you were to have to spend money on something, do you want to just keep bringing in more opportunities if you know you're a sieve, or do you want to patch up the cracks so that you can keep them, then start adding opportunities? Then you know you've perfected and you can grow.
Yeah, 100%. And I think it was a big part of what I was doing and how much money we were spending on lead generation. And a lot of teams I've jumped in and helped with this is, whether you're spending 1,000 or 10,000 or whatever the number is. I mean, I was on stage yesterday in Detroit interviewing somebody who's at 300,000 a month. He said it on stage. I don't think he cares that I share it, on lead generation, right? But when he started with this a few months ago, his head was just like, holy crap, I've been adding more and more and more to get more sales, but didn't realize how much was falling out because I didn't have eyes on it. So even down to the solo agent or small team, husband, wife team, whatever it is, if you're spending money on it, this is that insurance. You can't finance a car or a house without having insurance to protect your investment, right? That's what this is. Protect your investment and have something proactively telling you what's going on, right? You've got issues here. You need to fix this. Alert, alert, alert. Look here. And then you're going to realize, then start dialing up more of the lead generation, but make sure you've got some mechanism in place. And Maverick is what it is for us. And I mean, we've closed a little over 2,000 transactions this year. August was the month of Maverick for us to get this launched. And the amount of opportunities we saw that were getting missed was just like I just showed you guys earlier. We have 61 people sitting there right now that have called us that the agents haven't called back.
So you want to hear kind of a funny story? This is real time, just happened. We have a gentleman that is selling a house for 1.4 and buying a condo for 800,000. He was in our database. He got nudged. I was the one nudged. So I shouldn't say he got nudged. I got nudged on him because he had exhibited behavior. I wasn't paying attention. I reached out. I got this man under contract on the buy side, and now we're under contract on the sell side. And this all happened really quick. The buyer's agent that brought in the buyer says to me, "How did you find him?" And I said, "Oh, he had responded to some of our marketing." So I live right behind him. I talked to him. How did you know he was ready to sell? What made you reach out to him? Well, I was nudged on him because his behavior was obvious. So that's an opportunity. If he had just lived in my database and I didn't pay attention to that, the neighbor at some point probably would have had the conversation with him. Her not having nudging cost her 2 transactions.
And several million, it sounds like.
Right?
And I know you from a previous conversation today when we were talking about this. I already heard this is a whole different conversation, but how you're now building out special nudges and rules in Maverick for your past clients. I can't wait to share that on future webinars. So,
Yeah.
So again, half off the first 3 months. Please scan the QR code. If there's any other questions, I'd be more than happy to stick around and answer. I'm sure Livia would. Any parting words, Rachel, Livia, just as far as anything maybe we didn't cover? I know there's a lot of stuff in Maverick. We highlighted a very small part, but anything somebody, assessing or thinking about wanting another layer of tech or AI in their business that they should consider?
I think just how easy it is. I know as a team lead, as a producing agent, I didn't have the bandwidth to take on another whole tech tool. I really didn't. This is not like taking on another whole tech tool. It's actually simplifying what you already have. So you don't have to live in the hours and hours of how do I do this and how do I find this. And you can help your team really become rock stars very quickly, empowering them. So instead of having to find where their weaknesses are and have the conversation and the sit down, at a snapshot, you can kind of say, so what do you think? Where do you think you want to get better based on how you're performing? And they lay it out. They know what they want and they know what their financial goals are. This helps you get them there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as a individual who attempted to be a real estate agent and was not successful because I didn't know what to do on any given day. I didn't know where to start. I wasn't really sure. I didn't have the guidance. This was such an exciting tool that I got to then become a part of because it is really empowering the agent to be able to find those gaps and where they are struggling on their own if they want to. And I'm also like, I do ask questions, but I also don't want to be a bother to anybody. So in those moments where people don't want to be a bother, it gives them a place to be able to go find those answers themselves too.
I love it. And you're Rachel's spending a lot of time now with our users in product, building it, improving it, and all that. So last things I'm going to say is for us, what this solved was getting more out of what we had, right? We are still doing lead generation. We're still doing all that. But at some point when you're building a database, there's just got to be a better way out of getting more of what's existing, what's happening. And I just saw too much stuff falling out and the agents just not saying the right thing. And it was really a breakdown, I think, on our side and lack of training or the right tools. And as AI is continuing to advance, and it's going to, and I have had the privilege to get to see behind the curtains a little bit what's coming up with Maverick in the coming months and all that. Super excited because really it's allowing, I think, the agents to focus on more what they want to do, provide service, and be there when they're ready, and not have to be everywhere all the time, but it's going to allow you to be there at the right time.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
awesome. Well, Livia, Rachel, thank you guys so much. I don't think we have any other questions in the chat. So again, we'll send out the recording to everybody that registered, to the emails on there. So appreciate you guys joining. Livia, thank you so much. Rachel, thank you for jumping on. Until we do it again, have a great day. Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.
See ya.